Here we go. Hey everybody, Kevin Shortle here, and I've got TJ Osterman with me as well, and appreciate you all being on and watching this video. We plan on bringing quite a number of these to you with a lot of great information and really how our fund is set up to completely take advantage of the marketplace right now. TJ, how you doing?
Doing great, Kev. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I've got a couple of slides here and such for us to keep us tight on this schedule, if you will. So everybody, as you're watching this, you may see your screen make a bit of an adjustment here as I go ahead and share that with everybody. But TJ, why don't you start by letting everybody know about this new webinar series that we're doing and what our plans are.
Well, yeah, we really want to add a lot more than just obviously the investment component to our network out there and for potential investors as well. So what we really want to do is bring just a really quick, digestible webinar that's 15 minutes long, and just to kind of bring you up to date on new things that I'm researching, that Kevin's researching, because that's what we do all day long, is research different stuff. And I really believe that since we're doing this full time, for all you half-time investors out there or people that are just looking to get involved, this is a really easy, digestible way to kind of get up to date on stuff. We're going to be doing, you name it, different stuff all the time. But this is the first one, and we're really excited to have everybody here. And so, yeah, we'd love to open it up to people. And if they'd like something to hear, we can also do things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a big what's in it for you factor on these. We want to bring you really good, valuable information so that you can not only become more familiar with our fund, but investment techniques and what we are continuing to do in the industry. Because if you're a part of this fund, you're really a part of our investment family, if you will. So we want to keep you informed. We want to keep you educated, and that will help everybody as we progress in this fund. So we're going to have some links. You'll be able to have a link. We're going to be using Zoom. All of these are going to be recorded, by the way. So we'll have them available to you for a playback later on, so that you can go back and re-listen over and over again as you might need to do, or please share it with somebody else who may be interested in the fund. We also would actually appreciate that very, very much here. So let's just jump right into the topic that we chose for this one, TJ, which is retirement accounts. This fund is fantastic for retirement accounts. And a lot of people don't realize that you can make contributions. If you already have a retirement account set up, self-directed account, IRA, 401k, it's not too late to still invest. You have all the way until April 15th to invest in your IRA, 401k, Coverdale account, whatever it is, and still be able to write that off against your 2020 income taxes.
I didn't even know that, Kevin. When you brought that up to me, my ears popped right up, because that's very interesting. I don't think many people do know that, but it's really great.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think, well, shoot, the year's ended and now I can't contribute anymore, and maybe didn't have the funds towards the end of the year, with the holidays and all that sort of stuff. Well, you still have time, and it's just one of those little things that well, where are you supposed to hear about it, right? It's not like the IRS is advertising or holding these type of webinars with us. So if you do have a tax deductible IRA or 401k, again, you have all the way up until April 15th to go ahead and contribute and still be able to write that off in 2020. But if you have a Roth IRA, you can still contribute to max out that account as well. Now, of course, with the Roth, you're not getting the tax deduction on there because all of your gains are growing tax-free. And when you take the money out, it's also tax-free. So it's a good time to load up on those. And again, with our investment fund, it's just a spectacular place, not only for you to invest, but also your children. So TJ, what about getting people to hire their kids in the business? They can help them out in it's the Note business, whatever business that you have. Hire your children in the business, and they earn income, right? So you can pay them, and then you can fund their account. And because TJ, you've set the minimum for this investment fund, it's really no excuse not to open an account and have your children start investing right away. Would you agree?
I do. And if you all hear working from home is a little different, I got my dog barking in the background there, so I apologize for that. But yes, all of this stuff, now that I have two kids, it's I love the idea of hiring them in my business, right? And yeah, it's and I just have to say, majority of the people that are invested in MWM Fund as well are from the self-directed IRA market. And that was one of the reasons we set it so low at 200, right? Because people can get in, get their returns into their IRA accounts, but it's 200, 400, 600, and it's not enough to really deploy it into a full deal, right? So it's easy to kind of roll that into another fund and let that kind of work as well.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, you think back, I know we probably have a chart. If we don't, we should create one that just shows that power of compounding interest and starting to invest when you're younger, and I certainly didn't grow up, where I was taught how to invest young, and man, I wish I could go back in time sometimes and say, man, start putting money away now, so for your kids, for you, it's just a great way to go with this and get these accounts funded. And I think it's also really something to understand what our fund does and where it fits into the overall marketplace. So when you fund your retirement accounts and your retirement accounts invest, and hopefully part of that investment is going to be in our fund is addressing really one of the biggest issues in real estate today, which is affordable housing. Right,
Mhm.
TJ?
Oh yeah, that's it's one of the real big mandates of our fund, and what we're really concentrating on, especially this year. After what just happened, what we went through, there's going to be a lot of people that are needing help, and in the niche market that MWM Fund really operates in is the affordable housing market, right? We're talking about homes that are $150,000 and below. And so these kind of fall into that weird area where a lot of the times a lot of resources and help are not given to people, or these aren't opportunities that are easily accessible, right? I know I was talking to you, Kevin, before we got on here last week, and we just got over a pool of notes. It was like 180 non-performers, all affordable homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are not in the marketplace, and people are wondering, when do REOs hit the marketplace? And something I just read was, Chicago's 1,500 days in foreclosure to get that home from here to availability in the market, and that's just too long for one little house, right? So
Yeah.
Note investors, MWM Fund, we're able to kind of get in earlier, right? Address those issues and then take those and release them to the general public, whether it be an investor that's going to, create an affordable house or create a note or what have you. But there's a whole bunch of affordable housing that I don't think is being addressed and really seen unless you're in the space that we're in, right, Kev?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd mentioned to you, I've already done this year a state of the industry address for our industry. And one of the things that I wanted to study was the incoming administration. And Jared Bernstein, you can see a quote by him on your screen there, and I'll read it. And for those of you who are listening, Jared Bernstein, first of all, is the chief economist, and he for Joe Biden, and he's been in that role when Joe Biden was vice president. So he's been around a long time. He's a key economic advisor. And I went back and studied his blogs and took what his take was on this. And one of the big things that he talks about is affordable housing. So you better believe this administration is going to address that. And that might be in the form of increasing the opportunity zones. There might be government funding to help people out, because in this affordable realm, people can't get loans. The banks don't do those small loans because the Dodd-Frank Act doesn't allow them to make enough money. So it's a problem not only in developing those properties, but getting the finances to that property. And that's really where we come in. So one of the articles that he wrote back in 2020, Jared Bernstein says, I just took a quote from it saying, more than a decade after the housing market took down the economy, that was the last crash, everybody, the nation finds itself in the throes of a different kind of housing crisis. It affects our subtler, and perhaps for this reason, it has gone largely ignored. Well, I promise you, they're not going to ignore that, and they're going to need entrepreneurs and capital like the fund that we have. So this whole cycle and combining, again, investing with your retirement funds into what is a huge problem, big problems like this offer, so, when you offer a solution, that's where you can really start to make and grow wealth.
Yeah, and I know we're just trying to keep this really light and short, but that is so true. We are in an area where there is a giant problem, a huge gap in inventory, and the only people I believe that can really handle this are people that are nimble entrepreneurs. You can't have a big box, big corporation do this type of stuff. It's not in their not in their operating style. So there's, for all those out there, whether you're an investor in MWM fund or whatever, there is going to be a huge, huge opportunity to answer that problem. And the solution is, mortgage notes. And I firmly believe the mortgage note asset class is the place to really get in at.
Yeah. And I think much like the last crisis, the government figured out pretty quickly it couldn't really solve the whole problem. Wall Street tried to figure it out, couldn't solve the whole problem. They just did bits and pieces. And finally, it came down to the entrepreneurs. And that's where we are again with this affordable housing. That's where the opportunity is. So you're right. You can pursue this individually. Obviously, I have a lot of clients that I teach and train to buy individual notes, but also being very, very passive in the fund and knowing that your money is addressing one of the biggest problems out there, where the solutions, we're helping people get into homes, we're helping people stay in homes. And I think that's a very important part of this fund. And I know that's one of the big things that you always like to address, TJ, as well.
Yeah, I mean, for the economy in general, I think everybody wants a healthy economy, right? If you don't have a healthy middle class and you don't have healthy lower income wages out there that are buying these affordable homes, and you don't have a home, you're not going to have a healthy economy. So it really helps, kickstart stuff. And we are in a very unique situation where us as smaller investors and everybody else out there that has an opportunity can have this opportunity. And I kind of take it upon myself as a responsibility to do the right thing. And it may mean slower to profits sometimes, but in the long run, it's going to be the answer, I believe, to a lot of the affordable housing woes out there.
Great. I think that's a great way to end it. So please, everybody, check out the MWMfund.com. Go to the website if you haven't been there. It'll explain a lot more about the fund, what we do, and look forward to talking with you again on another one of these webinars.
Thanks, Kevin, so much. Look forward to the next time.
You bet.
All right. Bye.